This fundraiser is not about me, it's about change. And at the end, I'm going to read something to you, and some of you might read through it, you might get it, you may understand it, or in the next coming weeks it will be very, very clear. The state of education, and I say this from a business standpoint, and I don't have any problems with unions or collective bargaining or whatever. We spend a lot of money. So to set the story straight, we spent about $73,000 in Victorville, California, so that the business community, the taxpayers, the students had an advocate on that board. It is about change, and I know many of you have read that we are on probation, or that our probation has been extended, and it has been. I have commented, and I will close out the luncheon with a kind of a little of a prepared statement. Things are a little sensitive right now because where we're at. I will just tell you that as a private sector business person, which many of you are, and those that are not, I know think like it, I'm not satisfied to see where any school is today, especially in the high desert, with I think the ever-changing social problems that we are starting to see, that we're going to live with, that we're going to pay for. I mean, I worry that we have 35% of our population today is on welfare and food stamps. That has a huge impact on what Robert Lovinggood and Gary Ovid and what Brad Mitzelfeld try to do and all the other elected officials. You take that big equation out of the economy, and it's hard to move the economy forward. I want to move the economy forward, and I want to do it with educated people. And we have a lot of great things at VBC. So let me just talk briefly about some of the things at VBC that we have that are just, they're great programs. I think personally that we could do a little bit better job communicating them, but we have the same problem that Don Holland would have at the Daily Press, or anybody has that's in communication, because there are so many different ways that people get communicated to today, whether it be on Twitter or email or texting or the newspaper. Right now, we're trying to get the final count. I believe that we're going to end up with about 12,000 students through this semester on out there. But then we end up getting funded by what we call FTES, as full-time equivalent students. And it's kind of a weird deal. So when you hear in the upcoming years that VVC, like other community colleges, have a structural deficit, they start off on day one, minute one, second one, with about a $3 million structural deficit. Now, I think I know how I can fix that. But I'm only one of 5 votes, and I have 3 people right now that probably don't agree with how I do a budget. We have 800 employees, so we're a rather big employer. We have a budget of about $55 million. Our tuition now costs $46. And in last year, we put out 849 associate degrees, 168 certificates of completion, and 1,017 degrees and certificates. I'm also one, and again, when my very close friend Diana Carloni said to me, Joey, you're going to have a hard time in government because it doesn't work the way that you work, or as fast as you work, or as hyper as you work. And she was actually pretty right, because I would expect as a trustee to sit down with your board and say, we need to have a 16% increase in graduation rates, transfer rates, and et cetera. And then you come to find out the reality. Part of what we hear is community colleges are not we're not a cure-all, end-all, and that's true. But I still want to get VBC over the course of the next couple of years to kind of think like Apple does, and Microsoft, and big companies, and Craig Garrett with him, and many of the leaders that we have in here today. You have a goal every single year of what you want to do, and I think that VBC needs to think that way, and with your help, we will hopefully get there. The accreditation that we are going through, so we're back on probation. The next round with the report will be October 15th. We just voted on adding another person to safety out there with our police department. Safety is a big issue. We lost a student this year to suicide. So we're very, very concerned about our safety out there. We've got some great sustainability and green projects that we're working on. Some came from the bond money that you were gracious enough to vote on. Our student nursing program is absolutely out of the box, one of the most successful ones in the entire country. Dr. Paul Williams, who's not with necessarily that department, but he's here. Dr. Williams, where are you at? Would you please stand? He's one of our great deans on out there. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Mr. Williams. thank you for your support. But we have the regional training center that is now fully open, and I don't know, how many of you have seen our $31 million facility out near Walmart? It is really, stop by, walk in, ask for a quick tour. It is state-of-the-art. There's nothing on the West Coast, I think, as state-of-the-art. It was built with your money and our taxes. We offer out there fire science, EMT, paramedic, and administration of justice and corrections. We will get through the accreditation process, I guarantee you. It's going to be pretty tight, and yours truly is going to probably take a lot of you-know-what doing it, but that's okay. In 2004 and 2008, our ASB received the Campus of the Year Award nationally from the American Student Association of Community Colleges in Washington, D.C. That's pretty cool. That is really cool. The challenge is that most people, when you tell them that the ASB here is one of the most highly regarded ASBs in community colleges or university, they say, Joe, come on. I mean, I'm in real estate, so we may exaggerate the square footage a little bit sometimes. But, no, I mean, this is true. And when you're around these students at the ASB and they look in your eyes, last Saturday night in this room, I had 10 students walk up to me, hug me, say, Mr. Brady, thank you for what you're doing for us. That's what this is all about. So listen, I mean, again, thank you for what you've done to make that happen. We talked about the nursing program. This year, the Victor Valley College's 19-member team of the Model United Nations team won 6 top awards for outstanding delegation at the National Model United Nations Conference in New York City. Clap, that's huge. I mean, it's just, again, the great things they do. The VPC has won 9 times in 11 years in participation since 2002, and in 2002 we received the Outstanding Delegation Award. We have the foundation. How many of you have been touched by Ginger Ontiveros and her great staff, and Kathy Abbott and all that? They did a great job. And last Saturday night in this room, they had to net, I'm just guessing, so if I'm wrong, I'm sure I'll hear about it. This is being recorded. They probably did well over $125,000, $150,000 that goes towards scholarships. The foundation gives over $100,000 in scholarships every year. If you want to see a great deal, you need to go see that. This is about people like Christopher Dustin. Christopher, where are you at? Stand up. Christopher is the 2011-2012 ASB president, and I'm going to tell you how proud I am. He's now at Cal State San Bernardino. He changed his life around, and if you knew what he did before he went to VVC, you would say he could never have entered college, much less been at Cal State. Please give him a warm welcome and be a proud. And Christopher is living proof of student success. If you call his voicemail, he's still doing stuff at VVC. He's down at Cal State. He's absolutely involved. For those of you that go to the gala next year, I would buy your ticket. All 3 of the major prizes that were won in this room on Saturday night at the VVC gala, which was done by our great foundation, and we had 440 people in this room, were sold by Christopher Dustin. So, congratulations again. I want to close with the following comments. It's been often stated that if you are not doing your job, no one's swinging at you. I guess I'm doing my job to bring accountability and transparency to our college district. You may hear about complaints about this fundraiser that I am misleading the public. I've had 4 complaints filed against me at BBC. You will hear that my comments at the board meetings relative to a letter I read recently that discussed my dissatisfaction were where I think we are apparently violated the Brown Act. I have not done these things, and I'm strongly defending these claims. I'm going to tell you, I'm not going to apologize for doing what everybody in this room expects me to do. And for those of you that know me, I worry about 2 people. I worry about my wife, and I worry about God, and everybody else will fall in place. So I'm doing what I think that I need to do, and I know that you'll stand behind me. I will not now or never be silenced by bullying or political threats by objecting to bringing accountability to this district and supported by people within this area and within our college. I'll just close and say this. In the last couple of days, I have received a tremendous amount of email from people at the college supporting what I'm doing. I know that what I'm doing is going to, it may not be very popular. I know I've deviated a little bit off the statement. But I will tell you that you standing here and supporting what I'm doing says, you know, we got a long job to do. And I can't do it by myself. Jim Ruley can't do it by himself. Robert can't do it by himself. Not an elected official in here. So from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all for standing behind change. And there'll be more change. And I'm going to be looking for people that want to be a part of that change next year. This is going to be an ongoing event. David Griner sent me a text and said, Joey, I didn't think you could pull it off. David, yeah, we did pull it off. I don't know where you're at. But thank you. And I just want to thank each and every one of you. I wish that Deb could be here. And with that, we're going to conclude. And I just want to thank you. And Jim, thank you from the bottom of my heart.